What up, Chiefs Kingdom, football fanatics, and casual fans alike? Welcome to this week's preview of Chiefs Bills. Today we're going to go over matchups, a little news in between the weeks, and we're also going to have a score prediction. So stay tuned while we get this show on the road. So before we get into this week's matchup, let's revisit last week's matchup against the Raiders. I got mixed emotions about it. I really wasn't too happy, to be honest with you. Even to be quite honest though, with the game going the way that it did, and me watching it from frame to frame, we got our butts kicked. We got our butts handed to us. And I couldn't really blame anything or look at anything to say, hey, it was this or that. That's usually a fan's first draw to. But what I will say is they beat us fair and square. I look at that team and I'm like, they got a good team. And that makes me sick. Like, my stomach is turning right now just thinking about the fact that I just said that. The Raiders. But, like I said, they do got a good team. Henry Ruggs looks like he's going to be good. Derek Carr, he's not going to do that against us twice. So don't even worry about the rematch. Let's just call it for this game. They look good. And Waller, he's going to be a good tight end. Yeah, we didn't look too good on defense. I don't know what we were doing, but we couldn't stop a cold, man. We couldn't stop a thing. We couldn't stop at a stop sign. It was bad. But enough with the Raiders. Let's move on to something else because my stomach is getting sick. My stomach is turning right now just talking about them. November 22nd, we coming back for y'all. Just know it. So, up next, we have a battle of two premier young quarterbacks in the league. In the right corner, we have hailing out of Texas Tech at 6'3", 230 pounds. 1,400 passing yards, 107 passer rating for the year with only one pick, Patrick LaVon Mahomes. And in my left corner, hailing out of Wyoming, we have Josh Allen. Some of you may know, some of you may not know. There's been this small little beef, a little bit of trash talk, I guess you could really call it, about who has the bigger arm going on between Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. Unfortunately, due to the Buffalo Bills not being as good as us, we still haven't met them in the playoffs yet. So our first chance to get a crack at them with Josh Allen as a quarterback comes this Monday. And this day, we get to solve who's the better QB. I feel like it's going to be a air raid parade come Monday. I think they're both going to try to unleash a little bit of that deep ball and see who can be the better passer and make a name for themselves. Personally, I'm obviously going to go with Patrick Mahomes, but I don't take Josh Allen as no slack. He doesn't have that it factor for me. I personally watched a couple of games last year because I was rooting for them to win because I needed them to knock off some people like the Patriots, and he showed me what they were about. I watched him play Baltimore as well last year, and same thing. I came across with the same mind state then as I do now, and that's he's too timid to be a top tier quarterback. I feel like if the Chiefs were to get a lead on them and put a lot of numbers up on them, that he would wilt in it because I still to today haven't seen him show me any grit or any wherewithal to win those tough ones. So I'm not really expecting much out of him, and if he wants my respect, he's gonna have to gain it because you can't just say it and let it be that way. I mean, your record was good last year, but you still didn't do it and make any noise last year. So it's time to prove it instead of coming on the field and saying, hey, I can throw farther than Patrick Mahomes. Nobody cares if you ain't winning. The dubs is all that matters. Next up, we have wide receiver matchups. For me, I'm a big fan of this one here because obviously I'm a Tyreek Hill fan. And then also I'm a Stephon Diggs fan, and I got him on my fantasy draft as well. So kind of complex. I'm like, do I want you to get a lot of yards, or do I want you to have a bad game? Because I heard either way. So it's gonna be a fun one for me. I'm a big fan of Stephon Diggs, like I said, and Tyreek Hill. So I want to see which team gets to utilize that long distance game and knock a few out the park. That's gonna be fun. Also, we have the rest of our offense, which it needs to go without saying because we are loaded at every position. At every position. So it's gonna be a fun one. I think the marquee matchup will be Chiefs offense versus Bills defense because those are the biggest strengths for each team. Finally, I want to get to the news of the week. I know you've all heard by now. I know you're all excited, and so am I. And that's for the arrival of Le'Veon Bell. Now, a lot of people, are a little worried. They think he's a cancer in the locker room. And then there's a lot of people who worry about if he's washed up and this or that. I would definitely ask you to show me where, because even though the Jets, who suck, didn't get much out of him, even the plays that I've watched when he played with them still looks like they say Le'Veon. And I'm not a big Adam Gase fan, who is the Jets coach, so I attribute a lot of that to that. And plus, they didn't like him as much when he came in because he was the former GM's pick and not the pick of a head coach. Obviously, he came out and said he wouldn't pay a running back that much money. So we know what goes into that. So all I have is that bad sample size from the Jets. And then other than that, all I got is highlight reels from Pittsburgh. So I'm hoping that we get a little bit of that old Le'Veon coming into the kingdom instead of that rumored Le'Veon that they keep talking about. I think with our locker room being as it is, I don't think he'll come in and be a cancer because this is a tight-knit group, and it's not like he has more experience than any of them because they're Super Bowl champs. So I don't think he could really maneuver the room around that much. And plus, I believe in the leaders we have in the locker room. Now, as far as running backs go, I think it's a good pick. A lot of people are worried about Clyde Edwards-Helaire losing snaps, which I don't, because if you've been watching the games this year, you would notice that a lot of times they take Clyde Edwards-Helaire out and they'll put Williams in there, or they'll put the other kid 34 in, and they'll do that quite often. So what you pretty much do now is you eliminate those two. You put Bell in the second slot, and so whenever CEH needs a little bit of rest, you put Bell in there, and you still got a good option, or even probably a better option. So I'm good with the pick. There's been a lot of times this year where I've seen them, and they'll be on a third and short or something like that, or they have to go for it on fourth or something like that, and sometimes CEH wouldn't get there, and you'd be nervous about that because he's got to bounce outside. And don't get me wrong, Le'Veon Bell is one of those that can bounce outside as well, but he can run between the tackles, and he's a bull. He'll blow through 4 yards for you if you need him to get that. So I think that it shores up the one thing on offense that we need to get better on that doesn't take just practice, because every other way on the field, short, long, medium game, running even, we had it all down. It's just those small yardage situations where we got rough defenses who ain't giving up an inch. I think Le'Veon will do a better job of getting those extra yards. So I'm excited. I'm really excited for this one. Obviously, he won't be playing against the Bills this week, but after that, he should be in, and depending on how fast he picks up the game or picks up the playbook, depends on how fast he comes into the game. So with that being said, this has been my preview of this game coming up next week on Monday. Not this week because they pushed us back a day. If you liked it, press the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you didn't like it, hit the like button and press the subscribe button too. Or hit the dislike button. It doesn't matter. I like real opinions. And leave a comment down if you got any suggestions or if you think anything I can improve on. Trust me, I'm open book. I like to hear the comments. And if I don't believe in what you said, I'm not going to listen to it anyway. So, with that being said, enjoy the rest of the week. Enjoy the game. I'll see you guys next week. And we'll get in touch and talk about the next team we have up.